Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Ngani Titan. We're on port in the snow. Well, port's always in the snow. I've never seen any other weather variation for port. And we're in the KV2 and it's a team destruction mode. I've always had a real fondness for the KV2 and it's a tank I must play more often really, just because it is pretty good fun. When it works, it can really work. I'm also one of the few people I think that preferred the old port map. Not because I particularly enjoy driving across the railway tracks. I mean, I understand people's complaints that they didn't like driving across the railway tracks. It really slowed tanks down. It was impossible to fire on the move, of course, on the railway tracks. But to be honest with you, my view was the railway tracks weren't the place you should be hanging out in. They were pretty much open east to west with no cover whatsoever. And they were, in my opinion, not a place you should hang out in. The old map, sort of the corridor was down the 1-2, or go straight down the 9-0 line, right over into the gravel, the opposite side of the harbour, and then fight your way west. Yes, west. But the reason I kind of liked the railway tracks was that it was correct. It was. It's the way towns were in those days. They had these whacking great big railway marshalling yards. I remember seeing, I think it was Nuremberg. I'm not sure. It's one of the German towns that got burned to a cinder by the British Royal Air Force towards the end of World War II. And it was one of the ones considered to be particularly unnecessary. The town didn't have any industry as far as I can't remember, I think it was Nuremberg. But it had a massive railway marshalling yard. It was a very important rail centre. And of course the railway yard didn't burn. So this big bomber raid had no effect on the single most important strategic element in the town. But I always felt that the railway marshalling yard that was in here made sense. It kind of pleased my sense of history and aesthetics, and it's what the town would have had. Whereas these whacking great big warehouses with no railways just don't make any kind of sense. They're just completely arbitrary and they've no historical context really at all in comparison to the purpose of this location in the map. Now we have an OI here at the corner and we have a Churchill one making his way across, and when I get the reload in before the Churchill gets clear, because he is a well worthwhile target, because we can do that. Now, I reckon that OI has seen me. I don't know why he didn't come around the corner after me, but I'm pretty sure he has seen me. I mean, how could he not see me? The gun was pointing in this direction, I shot him, and then he turns around, goes sideways onto me, and faces the other way. Yeah, I know there was a tanker there, but why did that make sense? Brings me back to my thing that I've said before, and it's a very, very hard-won lesson on my part, but do not shoot at people that are not involved in the fight you're in. Don't invite extra people to the gunfight, because particularly if you're outnumbered, because then you'll be outnumbered more. The extra people will come to the gunfight, and you're already outnumbered. So now you've turned a 1-on-1 fight into a 2-to-1 fight, or a 2-to-1 fight into a 3-to-1 fight by inviting another person who wasn't previously involved into the gunfight. Unless you can one-shot them and kill them. That can be useful, but if you can't one-shot and kill someone, don't invite them back into the gunfight. Now, probably make a mistake here, but I'm not sure if anything I would have done would have been a whole lot better. My problem is that I'm now as far away from enemy tanks as I can possibly be. My guess was that the enemy were making a push towards our base, our spawn area. Because artillery. You'll always find artillery around the spawn areas, so it's always worth pushing in on the spawn area, and I thought they were going to be doing it in greater strength than it turns out they're actually doing it in. Because my choice there after shooting the VK3001H is to where's the next nearest concentration of enemy tanks where I can be of use. We have the edge numerically. As long as we don't meet a large concentration of enemy all in one spot, we're not going to lose this battle. And we know the enemy are actually pretty scattered around the map. So it turns out I made the wrong call. The enemy are being wiped out in the direction I decided to come as I'm coming here, because this is not a particularly fast tank. But equally so, they're being wiped out down around the enemy spawn point as well, although there are less tanks on our side down there. So it might have turned out to have been a better call on my part if I had gone south rather than back east. I'm not... Will I get the shot off here? No, too late. Get the spotting damage for some reason. I suppose there's more than one spotter technically. So that's the way that one works. As far as I remember with spotting, each person that's counted as spotting the tank gets a share of the spotting assist damage. And of course the experience from spotting assist damage. So yeah, it's useful to spot enemy tanks, although the KV-2 isn't exactly a great spotting tank. Don't think I have anything weird like a patrol duty or a scout medal or anything like that with a KV-2. I think the only weirdness I have in that line is with a Churchill 3, where I have both the scout medal and a patrol duty. I think sniper medal is the most unusual thing I have with a KV-2. However, didn't make it into any further action, so we finish up with our 5 damaging ribbons and our 4 kills. So we get 1300 damage, which isn't huge. Gets the 2nd class mastery though, and we come number 1 by experience. Now, as we look at it there, nobody did huge amounts of damage, but then everybody pretty much did a little bit of damage. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a like and a thumbs up if you did. It really helps the channel out. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you all again soon. Bye for now.